a national security horror movie plot when it comes to Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort, who is currently serving a federal prison sentence. In the report, we learn that Trump hired as his campaign chairman a man who by then had spent more than a decade working to provide, quote, political risk insurance for a Russian oligarch close to Vladimir Putin. The oligarch, Oleg Deripaska, quote, used Manafort to install friendly political officials in countries where Deripaska had business interests. Manafort's job for more than a decade before he started working for Trump was that he installed friendly political officials in office on behalf of a Kremlin-connected oligarch. The oligarch paid him to install people in high office in foreign countries for the convenience of the Kremlin. That was Donald Trump's campaign chair. And incidentally, that Associated Press story from the spring of 2017 turns out to be right. The explicit terms of Manafort's arrangement with this oligarch, quote, referenced the need to brief the Kremlin and referenced the benefits that the work could confer on the Putin government. Oh, the benefits for the Putin government, they'd need to be kept fully apprised on Manafort's work to bring about those benefits by installing friendly officials in foreign countries. That's who Trump brought on to run his campaign. And we're going to be talking about this for a long while yet. There is a ton here. But, I mean, just for the purposes of tonight, you should know that Manafort did repeatedly send detailed internal polling data from the Trump campaign to a Russian guy who, it was understood, would also send that information to this Kremlin-connected oligarch. He repeatedly provided internal polling data to that Russian guy. At an in-person meeting in August 2016, Manafort provided this Russian intermediary, this Russian guy who was his intermediary with Deripaska. He was also a guy linked to Russian intelligence who was elsewhere described in Mueller's report today as acting on behalf of the Russian government. Manafort, in August 2016, provided him, in person, a briefing on the state of Trump's campaign, Manafort's specific plan as Trump's campaign chairman for how Trump could win the election, the Trump campaign's planned messaging for the end of the presidential campaign, yet more internal polling data from the Trump campaign, although he'd been feeding him that for months, plus, quote, a discussion of battleground states, which Manafort identified to his Russian contact, again in August 2016, as Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Minnesota. So Manafort, according to Mueller, repeatedly lied, including to prosecutors with whom he had entered into a plea agreement, repeatedly lied about his contacts with that Russian guy who was his intermediary with the oligarch. He repeatedly lied about his contacts with him, repeatedly lied about what he gave that guy from Trump's campaign, repeatedly lied about their ongoing work and discussions on yet another plan that would result in the U.S. dropping sanctions against Putin's government.